Dun dun dun. Ah, it's Woden's day. It's Mercury's day. The day of thought. The day of prayer. It's also hump day. And this is Shootin' the Shoo with Adey Bell.
You're watching Shootin' the Shoo.
You're watching Shootin' the Shoo. Oh, the aspect ratio went all weird again. I'm fixing it. There we go. Hello. Good evening. It's 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. And it's Wednesday. Oh my gosh. How are you? Where are you? It's that really fun week between Christmas and New Year's, when hopefully most people are just feeling bushed, right? It's like downtime. Pajamas. I'm wearing the pants that are most like pajamas only because I had to leave the house. I hope you're in your pajamas. I hope you're taking it easy. Capricorn season in full effect. Definitely wanting us to organize, strategize, make shit happen. But there's this sweet spot of just allowing yourself to rest and receive after a lot of the shamna, and we're in the 12 holy nights of spiritual evolution, spiritual transformation. So I hope that you're able to just be in that. If you're here, I am wearing pants, but it's funny because I might not be. If you're here, let me know in the chat. Say hi. Where are you in the world? I'm just going to talk about me for a bit, which I don't do very much in the public sphere, so here we go. But we went up to Ohio. Casey and I drove up to Ohio to see my sister and her husband and my little ones that are so dear to me for solstice. And it was so beautiful, and we had the Christmas tree, and we had the solstice circle, but I woke up with a sore throat the morning we left, and I was like, oh man. So we had a cold the whole time, sneezing and wheezing and trying to be cool. It was kind of intense because Casey and I slept in our little trailer. And at that time, this big, huge blizzard and cold snap moved through the country and hit us in Ohio, and it was, -7, and good thing our trailer has a nice little heater, so we were fine, but sniveling and kind of, just coping with the stuff. So then we got home to North Carolina, and our pipes had frozen, like so many people in this area. It was a record freeze. And it even froze and messed up some pipes in the City of Ashland Water Department. So we've been without running water for getting on 3 days now, which is great. It's like camping, but not. We're coping, we're dealing, we're loving it through. I got to have a Vedic astrology reading today, so I'm kind of I'm a little blown out by the downloads and the messages and the gifts and the wisdom. Highly recommend looking into all the maps, all the tools to get to know thyself. What do we do to deepen our understanding of our soul's purpose? Why did we come here? And there's a lot of ways you can find out, as far as I'm concerned, or, in my experience. I love overlaying the maps, Vedic astrology, Western astrology, human design, gene keys, just general meditation and being with my intunement. And it's a pretty wild ride. And I'm in this big Saturn cycle, apparently. And it goes until like 2032 or something. So one of the good things for me right now is Saturn and structure and discipline and just like doing the work, one foot in front of the other, cardinal Earth, right? And it's also kind of cool because in the Western astrology, I love Capricorns. I'm married to 2 Capricorns. Some of my absolute besties are Capricorns, and so I learn from you, oh brilliant mergoats. I think they're super fun people. It's really interesting. Some people think Capricorn, they're like, oh God, serious and workers, but really, there's when they have fun, like their light side, their joy side, is so delightful because they're so committed to their work, like committed to what they're doing, which I personally love it. Thank you for showing the way, Saturn. So that's a little bit about my life. I hope the water turns on tomorrow because our dishes are stacking up and it's getting a little crazy. Thanks, Vetiver, for letting me take a shower last night at her place. But, resources. Changing our relationship to our resources and how we get resources, how we interact with them. That's part of what's up tonight. So, I just want to hang out and say hi. I hope you're well. Let me know what's up for you. How's it going? And tonight's going to be short and sweet because we don't have any water. It's been kind of a long, intense day. And I had the grumpies because oh God, all the things, and how's it going to go? And really sorting out, Saturn says, what do you do that feeds you and like monetarily, right? Saturn is about money. It's like making money, your career. And I just want to give all my gifts away. I do. I just want you to have what I have and more, right? I just want to play in the luscious little mermaid fairyland of everyone's giving and receiving, and we get to just be in this luscious space, and that's not what's happening on planet Earth at this time. So I get to learn about that. And it's a school of hard knocks, as most artists and healers know. But I think that we're about to, really enter a time where we reevaluate, how we contribute to and are fed by our, economy, our community, digital currency, decentralized currency. Who has the money? Who doesn't have the money? It's crumbling down so that we can make a change. And so one of the cool things, hi, who's this? Legonomy. Thanks, honey. Appreciate that. Saturn, structures falling. Something about that. Anywho, the next 5 new moons. So I do a game called Wishcraft. It happens on the Sunday closest to the new moon. And we create intentions for the new moon cycle, as well as pull cards for the audience members. And it's live stream and also live at my temple in Asheville. And one really cool thing about the next 5 new moons, and we'll put the link to Pam Gregory's latest astrology about this, is that it's at it's the 0 and 1st degree of its sign. And blah, 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 technical stuff. What does that mean? It means that there is a heightened opportunity for new beginnings. And if life is a dream and an open, pearlescent grid of possibilities, we want to impregnate, we want to impress upon this grid, this opal, pearlescent, glowing grid of light, our most in-aligned, highest dedication possibility, the best possible outcome, the best parts of ourselves. You know, we want to really show up, and that doesn't mean that it's rainbow sparkles all the time. It means that we intend to respond in a state of beauty, right? Can we be in the state of beauty? What does that mean for you? What does that look like? I'm going to burn some of this beautiful homegrown incense blend by Vediva Grayson, who I have the good fortune of being friends with. She's here in Asheville, vedivagrayson.com. It's this beautiful blend, and I'm going to put it on this charcoal right here in front of me. Just to clear out the space and say hello to myself and to you and say hi. And what we're going to do is I'm going to pass along a tool. So this is going to be a short and sweet little meow meow. So I'm going to pass along a tool that I received recently. I attended a online webinar with the most brilliant, beautiful writer, inspiration, one of my favorite people right now living on the earth. I'm so grateful I get to walk the earth at the same time she does, Elizabeth Gilbert. And she led us through this really beautiful journal exercise that was just so on point for me. It was just like, yeah, right down the middle, you know? It was like, And it's about enchantment. So I just ask you to, like, what is your relationship to enchantment? What does that even mean to you? What comes up for you when I say enchantment? What is that? For me, enchantment is like the golden thread of yes. The part of me that lights up and goes, ooh, yes, I could do that. I want to follow that. I'm curious about that. Where are we going? How does it play out? Hi, Sativa. Welcome. We're talking about enchantment. Sativa, what is your relationship to enchantment? We're going to do a little journal exercise about connecting to our enchantment. So get out your journal and something to write with, or a piece of paper and a pen. And, oh, sorry, still getting over my little code. And you're going to write stream of consciousness. And I want you to think about, you know, those moments of enchantment, those times in your life when time stops, stands still, or it flies by. But those times when, those moments when, those activities when, you really feel like you're in that golden thread of yes, you're following that, like, ooh, what? Yes, what is this? I'm curious. I could play inside of this. I could be inside of this. And the prompt is, dear, your first name. So for me, dear Adrian, I am your enchantment, and this is what I want to tell you. Enchantment for me, says Sativa, is when a song or a breeze or a feeling hits me suddenly and I cry. Oh, yes, absolutely. I know that one. Sometimes it's a scent too, right? Like you walk into a space and then it carries that memory, that nostalgia. I love that sense of enchantment. I get enchantment in nature a lot, or every time, all the time. Nature's my jam. So here I'm going to read you mine. Dear Adrian, I am your enchantment, and this is what I want to tell you. I love walks in nature with Bear, and I like it when he runs ahead, and then we walk back together. I love wandering around the art district, the emporiums, looking at other people's creations and collections. Oh, it just lights me up. It's like, I love having pureed soup every day. Let's always make that. I love having spontaneous, fun conversations with strangers. I like meeting new people. I love dancing. I love moving our body. I love reading with you. I love quiet. I love being deep in myself among people. So these are parts of me that feel like I'm led to that enchantment. Oh, and I love sitting outside with tea first thing in the morning. I love listening to the world around me outside. And I'm super lucky I get a bunch of birds right now. I have so many birds around me. So I encourage you, get your journal, start with a prompt. Dear, your first name, I am your enchantment, and this is what I want to tell you. And I'll give you a little time to do some writing. And if you feel like you want to share a little bit of your enchantment, please put it in the chat. How fun is that? Again, much kudos, deep bow to the legendary Elizabeth Gilbert for this journal exercise. L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore, and love is all that I can give to you. Oh, love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart, but please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. I said love was made for me and you. So where is your enchantment? What does your enchantment have to say to you? And in this new cycle, new calendar year, new moons, we're in the fourth quarter of the zodiac. Capricorn initiates the next and last phase of Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, and then we roll back over into the equinox of spring and we start with Aries again. So we're initiating this fourth quarter with our intent and starting anew. And I mean, are you not feeling the newness? Wow. Also, have you seen the Cheshire Cat in the sky today? And last night? Oh. Ooh, Sativa's playing. Okay. Dear Sativa, I'm your enchantment, and I'm here to remind you that you love to sing. Yes! Please do that more. The Fae miss you. Visit them more often. And when you're overwhelmed, drive to the quiet nature that is only blocks away. And remember that you are one with that moment. You are the enchantment in your life. Tune in. Woman! Yes! You are the enchantment in your life. Oh my goodness, sweetheart. Oh, it's so true. Oh, and singing. The singing. That's the quickest path to enchantment. That and nature. You and I are such soul sisters. I mean, gosh. We are from the Fae. We remember the old world. Hi, Michael. Welcome. We're talking about enchantment. And we just did a journal exercise where the prompt is, get your journal and a piece of paper and a pen. And the prompt is, dear first name, dear Michael, dear Persephone and Michael, I am your enchantment, and this is what I want you to know, right? And this is what I want to tell you. Oh, so Sativa, darling, I totally chime in. Ding! I don't have a bell on me. But ding! Singing is such a quick way to be in the enchantment, to be in the innocence, right? I feel like enchantment is, there's an innocence to it. So Michael and Persephone and children, oh, what a beautiful way to find enchantment. They live in the enchantment at all times, right? So hanging out with our munchkins. But I just want to say, singing, we all need to sing. We all are made to sing, even if you don't think you're a singer. There's a voice inside you that wants to be heard. Singing and dancing. I've been checking out some of the dance scene here in Asheville, and there's this one called Beat Church that happens every month. I didn't get to go in December because we had to leave that night to go up to Ohio to see my fam for the holy days, but I just love getting down. I know so many dance addicts, and I know there's an ecstatic dance, and I have a little fear about it, so I'm going to bust through that fear. And I dance at home, it's just like, I have a yoga practice that's kind of like dance yoga, stretchy, whatever. Yes, my enchantment comes when I dialogue with my body. I call it body magic, right? Whether it's breathing, tuning into the breath work, or doing some squats or going on a hike. But nature, always, always, always nature. Gosh, Gaia, our planet, she is something else. Yay. Good job, everybody. You're doing so good. So, Michael, when you're ready, take a few moments. But if you want to share, dear Michael, I am your enchantment, and this is what I want to tell you. My enchantment wants to tell me that when I am connected to my music process, enchantment is there. Austin, hi love. We're doing a journal exercise about following our enchantment, discovering, cultivating, and being with our enchantment. So it's a journal prompt. Feel free to write this down. And the prompt is, Dear Austin, I am your enchantment, and this is what I want to tell you. You can scroll up in the chat and see Sativa's share about what her enchantment wanted to tell her, and it's freaking brilliant. I want you to like write that out and like stick it on your mirror or your fridge. It's like, but what is it to live by the principles of your enchantment? Right? To live out your enchantment is your purpose in life. So this is another addendum. This is another part that Elizabeth Gilbert was digging into in her creative workshop or whatever that I got to attend. And it's like, to live out your enchantment. What if to live out your enchantment was your purpose in life? You know? Taking off this weight, this heavy weight that we have, especially in the West, around like our purpose being this like huge, saving the world, making the impact, building that business, running that company, and for some of us, absolutely that is what we're doing, and we love all of it. And it's not necessarily the way for everyone, right? So I love what Elizabeth was sort of painting this picture of like, what is your enchantment? What lights you up in that way where you're just like, you know, totally in the time warp. You're in the time warp of just like being in the zone. Like, what is that? And then what if that was your purpose? And it's these simple, beautiful things that we uncovered in the workshop she was talking about. You know, a lot of people shared their letters of enchantment. And it's like, ooh, it was mostly like, you know, like nature and animals and stillness. Okay, Austin says, your enchantment wants to tell you that it's time to be timeless. That is not to be bound by time. Ooh, tell us more about that. How do you live and slip into the slipstream of timelessness? I'd love to know any tools you have for that. Austin is also going to be my guest on 111, so maybe we'll save that nugget. For 111, it's going to be a Wednesday, January 11th. Austin Hillshaw is going to be my guest. He's super awesome. Hi, Deborah. I am here now. I am your enchantment. My enchantment is to live moment to moment in reverence for my heart and sharing from this call. Ugh. Yes. Living moment to moment in reverence for my heart. Ooh. So good. And courageous to live and speak from your heart. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Austin and Deborah. Yeah, so living your enchantment. Living by the principles of your enchantment. It will run counter to social norms. Let's talk about that. What do you think about that? What does that mean? Running counter to social norms. Navigating that puzzle. Who cares about that? Raise your hand. Who doesn't care about that? Raise your hand. Wish we could raise hands. I might move Shootin' Shoo over to Zoom. Does anyone have any thoughts about that? Yes, no, good, bad? This is an experiment. I'm doing it for a couple more weeks and then I'm going to assess. But I love checking in. Hi, Lloydie, he's all in. Oh. It has to do with this time at the end of one year and the beginning of the next. Not to be bound by shoulds or need to, and just be curious. Being in the place of curiosity, moment after moment, absolutely. And I was talking about before you got on, Austin, that we're like, this week especially, right? We've had our Christmas. It's not quite New Year's. It's that kind of like, hopefully people are in a bit of a slow stillness. I was calling in the pajamas. Who's in your pajamas? Raise your hand. Just letting it be, listening to the fallow part of our season. There's so much wisdom in the silence, and we all have our ways of resisting the quiet and filling up the thing. We got to make the money, we got to pick up the kids, and we got to eat, we got to all the things. So can we make moments of stillness? Deborah says she's listened to her call and lost friendships. Absolutely. Sativa's in her PJs. Yes. Yeah, losing friendships, moving against social norms, speaking your truth, especially through the last 2 years. There's this comedian, Jim Gaffigan, I think is his last name, and one of the funniest jokes he had was like, he said that the last 2 years was like a gender reveal party for insanity. It's like, surprise, I'm insane. I just thought that was hysterical. And some truth to it. We've all had to, or hopefully, had the opportunity to really do some soul searching in this last little cycle and get clear, hopefully clearer in the murky about what is my truth, what really matters, what am I doing, right? Like what is this? And fortunately, unfortunately, you can look at it in whatever perspective. Let's just look at it with curiosity. Some people aren't on the same track. I totally get that. I had some friendships have a relation shift as well. Me Too Nebula. In retrospect, it was good for me. Me Too Nebula in retrospect was good for me. Not quite sure what you mean by that, but that's okay. It's not always pretty what happens in this place. Yeah. Okay, so we come to the second half of our journaling Inquisition. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Which is, and I hope I don't get sued for this. I really highly doubt it. But paying all honor and respect to Elizabeth Gilbert's journal prompts. I feel like journal prompts are that's common ground, right? The second half of this journal exercise, so we started with our enchantment, and our enchantment telling us what it wants us to know right now about it and where to be and how to find it, right? So the second half is the permission slip. And you write out a permission slip from whatever authority figure you feel appropriate. And most people go, especially when you're a kid, right? So most people go to the principal because of school, right? So it could be from the office of the principal. That's the first line on your journal. From the office of the principal, or it could be the president or my boss or like whoever the authority figure is that's ringing true for you. So, and the next part is to whom it may concern. First name has my permission. Adrian has my permission. I'll read you mine. To walk every day, barefoot too, and with Stanzi. To delight in wandering around Asheville's art scene whenever she wants. To dance and move her body any way she wants. To enjoy her dream life, whatever it may be. To wear all the costumes all the time. To tell her musical and creative truth to anyone and everyone as she sees fit. To hold true to her vision. To go to bed as early as she wants. To take messy actions because evolution isn't perfect. Adrian has my permission to take messy actions because nothing is perfect. To show up as all of herselves in every area of her life. Adrian has my permission not to make people feel cozy about her boundaries and decisions. Ooh, so, from the office of the principal, to whom it may concern, your name has my permission. Go for it. Take some time to drop into what that feels like. What's your permission slip look like? And should you want to share, I'd love to know. What are you giving yourself permission? What is the authority giving you permission to do, to see, to feel, to be? Let's do it. Let's set ourselves free so we can be what we want to be. I love today's costume. Go to bed early. Messy actions, yes. No coziness from boundaries. Yikes, I'm in the middle of that one. Yeah. I mean, it's good to care. We care, of course we care. And we're thoughtful. And we're, doing our best. But at the end of the day, there's no perfect way to say no to someone who really doesn't want you to say no. There just isn't. And over-rehearsing, overthinking, overbeing is just, it gets all crap in there, So, trusting that you are kind and good, and you're coming from a really good place, and laying down the boundary, being like, thank you and no. I've got that kind of an experience that I learned from all the time in music production, right? We do a recording, we do a take, we've got these, wonderful musicians who are collaborating and playing and doing all the stuff, and then sometimes it doesn't make the cut. Sometimes it's not the right take. Sometimes it's not the right feel. And so I've been learning as a producer and the artist and the creator of the music and the holder of the vision, how to communicate these boundaries, right? How to be clear to my vision, being like, no, I trust what I hear. And it's making me stronger, wiser, creative. And the ones that hang tight, hang tight. So, okay, Sativa, from the office of the principal, Sativa has my permission to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Ooh, even if others want your energy, you can always choose you first. Yes, please. Definitely choose you first. I love that. Especially because I know you, and you are a giver. You love to serve. You're in the service of love, and you do it so well. But if you do it too much, it starts to get murky. All right, Deborah has permission to use my energy in ways that have me grateful to be alive. Ooh, yes. Like what? Like what, Deborah? Not drained or depleted, but supported in my choices to thrive. Yes. And isn't it cool? Sometimes in our choices to thrive, we find ourselves alone in the room. And then sometimes in our choices to thrive, we see ourselves surrounded by friends, old friends, new friends. It's like, it's a resonance game, it's a frequency game, baby. Abraham. I love that. Yeah, there's this strong theme of choosing self-love and self-care before we run out of our batteries. You guys are awesome. Thanks for playing this game. Yeah. I knew it. So, Deborah's permission to use her energy in ways that have grateful to be alive includes soaks, walks, dances, mostly body stuff to feel more alive, right? Oh, yes, yes, mama, get in your meat suit. Oh, get in it, get in it. I want to bring in a segment of body magic in this season, in this series, because I feel like it's such a strong theme. It comes up for everyone, and we all resist it. You know, we all have our like, oh, I can't, or oh, I don't have time, or oh, it's too many things, or whatever. So I'm curious about how I can fold that in. Oh, I'm soothed by your pace and your inward focus tonight. Thank you, honey. I'm hearing the call, and I just want to be with others who are choosing their thriving and ask these really sweet questions in order to tease out, to seduce, to coax out our inner wisdom, because we need it right now. We need it right now. And here in my cozy little living room, and I've got my tea and my axe. It's a beauty. Just feeling really called to what's deep down under, you know? I really appreciate you guys playing this game. I hope you're getting some good insights out of the enchantment and permission slip writing prompt that I learned from Elizabeth Gilbert. If you don't know Elizabeth, oh my gosh, the book I would recommend is Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear. She's on a roll, man. She's on a roll. And Creative Living Beyond Fear is so my jam. As a healer that uses music and art, I'm so tuned into that query of like, how do I creatively express all these things and also be in the world and have my costumes and like, how does it all work? How do we, you know? So it's perfect. It's my favorite place to be, is with a candle and a cup of tea and really diving in. Shall we pull a card, darlings? I think we should pull a card for the week. It's Wednesday, and we've got what? We've got New Year's Eve, Saturday night. New Year's Day is Sunday, I believe. And again, it's a calendar year cycle change, so it kind of depends on which cycles you're paying attention to as far as a rebirth. For me, it's just a calendar rollover, and because there's a lot of conscious emphasis on beginnings in the new year, I like to join in that fun. But really the new year starts for me on October 31st. It's the witch's new year. And then solstice. The solstices and equinoxes are really my times for tuning into the refresh of the cycles. You know, just feels more appropriate. It's like, that's just what's up for me. So let's pull a card for this week and see if we can glean a little bit of insight around what's our reminder, what's something we could use as a brilliant beacon to show us the theme of what could occur for this week. And then I will say goodnight, right? So let's do a card. And if you're still with me and you haven't shared your permission slip, I'd love to know what you have permission to do. Okay. We're going to use Libra Mundi, the Tabla Mundi. And what do we need to know? could we be reminded about for this week? Still in the 12 holy nights. Oh, I was going to talk more about that. But I just encourage you to look it up. If I can put a link below, maybe I'll do that. Ready? The lovers. Look at those two. Wow. Well then. It's time to love yourself, yeah. It's the number 6. Balance, harmony, synergy, synergistic. Equal parts of yin and yang. Equal, smooth, creamy, hexagon, hexagram, honeycomb. Yeah? So let's all be lovely. Can we? Can we be lovely to each other? What's your relationship to your inner lover? Whether you have a lover or not. You know, what can you ask of your inner lover? What does it need to create more balance? It's about harmony, right? It's about taking the situation and finding balance, finding harmony in it, being the harmony. Can you be the balance? What does that look like? So I encourage you all, and myself included, to pay attention to the lovers aspect of ourselves. The sweetsy, yummy, honey drops. And balancing our inner yin and yang, our inner creative receptive. You know, not too much of this, not too much of this. Where's that point, that balance point in the center? Where we find a really beautiful point of stillness. It's my life path card. And it's taught me the many, many forms of love. Gosh, there's so many ways to love. There's so many kinds of love, so many flavors. So I encourage you to get into that. Discover a little more of that. Lean into the love, the self-love, the external love, the balance and the harmony. Okay, my darlings. I'll see you next week. Maybe, probably, kind of depends. Wish us well. Please send me good water juju. Hopefully they'll turn our water back on tomorrow. And mark your calendars for Wishcraft, which is Saturday, January 21st. It's on the new moon in Capricorn. It's going to be fabulous. James Hoskins, my cellist, and one of my dearest, dearest friends will be here. So please, please, please make sure that you are coming that night. We're going to have a blast, and the music is going to be exquisite. So take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.